Hello guys, just want to do a quick video on a trade that I covered on my live stream a couple of weeks back to the team, and the ins and out of a trade that I had entered and some of the other guys had entered, and the reason why I got out of it also. So this may confuse you a little bit if you're new or you're just looking at the trading for the first time through this video. Don't worry about it, the team has everything covered from basics to advanced, and entering trades like these. So if it does confuse you a little bit, don't worry, there's a lot to learn. You'll definitely pick it up in time. But I'm going to dive into this trade. So my original look at this was this trend line here. Okay, so it's a trend coming down in the market. There's lots of sellers off these points here. See the reactions of it. Nice sell off there, nice sell off there, a couple of nice sells off there. So the market really, if it comes to that line again, according to everyone that's learned this style of trading, it should sell off again from here, right? But because using smart money concepts and the banker strategy, we know the banks are now interested in this position because people are going to be putting more sells here, right? So what they're going to do is use this liquidity and actually push the market the opposite way, and this big push up here, another push up here, to make everyone that got in for a sell here now will lose them trades. Okay, and if you've seen a bit about trend line trading, you will see that people will sell off here. They will now be stopped out by this push up. You even get a break and retest of trend lines, so retest off here. Market starts going in the right direction. They'll get excited. The banks do the exact same thing, push the markets the opposite way again, and take everyone out that's gone for a buy now. So they've now taken a lot of liquidity out, and also taken out people that are putting buy and sell orders. Okay, but this is where we step in. We can actually take some little trades in here, and this is one of many liquidity sweeps or trades with using this strategy like that you can do. But this is just the one I got a couple of weeks back on the live stream. Okay, so just using the basics of trading, using market structure. If we look here on the 4 hour, or even let's go on the daily, the general trend of the market is coming down, right? So you got lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high. But here the market shifts. Okay, there's a new higher high that gets formed by that liquidity sweep that happens. Okay, so if we was going to look at any sells in here coming down, we wouldn't want to stay in them the whole time and try and take up this low, because that structure has now been broken to the upside. Okay, but you can look for trades going the opposite way of the trend on the higher time frame if you've got a little bit more experience. They are a little bit more riskier trades, but if you've got more experience, you can spot them a little bit easier, and perhaps get into a nice trade coming down from this position. So let me dive into this area here, which is where the market was at that time. Okay, so we've got this big push up that's taken out all that liquidity on this trend line. So after a liquidity sweep, we do normally see price push down, get a little test back up into that area, which that little test is normally called mitigation. Okay, because the banks put so many buys into this push here, and the market sells off afterwards. They're now in drawdown. Okay, so they're in a loss of them buy trades that they used to push the market down, but they're not gonna lose at their own game. Okay, so they're going to bring the price back up to this area and close them orders that they used to push the market to the upside. Okay, so we focused on this little area around here. The reason being we didn't want to get in the sell the whole way down is because that market structure breaking to the upside. Okay, so I thought I would look around here on the lower time frames. That's what I like to do. I like to just use my top-down analysis, which is going from the daily to the 4 hour to the 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15, 5, all the way down, just to see what's happening on that lower time frame, to see if we can enter anywhere. Okay, so we looked around here. And, this is all recorded on one of my live sessions that we went over. A few of the lads got in this trade with me, which is nice because it did quite well. Okay, so I'm looking around here. This is all fairly balanced. Okay, there's nice price action coming down, and there's a big push down here. So that is kind of what interests me, that little area there coming down. Nice big push down. So again, just looking through these smaller time frames, what can I see that actually makes me think, okay, the price is going to start reversing and coming down to make that new higher low on that higher time frame. So this is, if you look on the date there at the bottom, you can see the date and the time. You can, my live sessions on Thursdays are at 1 o'clock. So it was around about here we started looking at the trade. Okay. And I noticed on the 45 minute, there was a nice push up, a bigger push down. This candle here engulfs this candle. That one's highlighted in white. Okay, that's one of the indicators we have in TFT. It highlights these order block candles for you. The price has come down. It's now broke underneath this structure on the 45 minute on the lower time frame. Okay, so price is starting to come down the lower time frame. So I thought maybe a good place I would enter off here is where that engulf happened, where you've got a little bit of imbalance that was left in there before this came into play. So let's actually go on replay mode. Okay, so you see here, this is where my session was. It was about 1 o'clock. I was looking on the 45. I looked through the 45 minutes, 30 minutes. So here is the end of this candle. Going into this one is where we was on that time. So at 1 o'clock on Thursday. This here where I was interested in. So I would have gone off the open of that candle there and put my stop loss just above that. Okay. So we can get that sell coming down as it's now broke structure on that smaller time frame. But again, we wouldn't stay in it for too long because the higher time frame is actually going up. So what happened as soon as the live stream finished, we put a sell limit in here. So that means when the price gets up to this area, we're in for a sell. So we'll hopefully get the price to react to the downside. We have our stop loss just above. Short position. So yeah, short means sell, so it's selling. Oops. Put my stop loss just above here. So you got about a 12 pip stop loss there. What I was looking for targets really was to fill this imbalance. So the market is always it's always looking to either sweep liquidity, which is done here, or rebalance. Okay, so there's a bit of imbalance in here, meaning there's a massive push up with no wicks either side. A lot of volume in the market there. So it needs to be rebalanced, right? So I thought down here would be a nice target to come and take out these trades. Plus then on the higher time frame, we could have that higher low being formed. So about an hour or so after the live stream, see what price did. Come and tap straight into that. Not perfectly off it, but it pretty much is a perfect trade there and started shooting down the opposite way for that sell that we'd entered. So I was in this trade right now. The way I like to trade is following this trade down now. I would have moved my stop loss to break even. So now I'm in a risk-free trade. At this position here, this is one target because there's some imbalance in there, right? So I took 50% of my trade here. So you can take partials out of your trade. So I've taken half my trade here, so I've got profit, and the other half I can let it run for the rest of profit. Or if it goes to break even, I've not lost anything and I've still taken some profit, which I advise to do to the people that come on my live streams. That's how I trade. But we'll see how this plays out. Started dropping throughout Friday. So the market closed here on the weekend. Then continue to drop his position here, and look how nicely it reacts off that imbalance and starts to move to the upside. So I come out around about here for the rest of my trade. So I've got 2 bits of profit, one at this level, one a little bit higher. It did go a bit further, but again, the reason why I don't want to stay in for too long and just take out these targets that I could see that are nice and clear is because that higher time frame, which I'm glad I did, because you could see price come down. Let's look on the daily again. Come down, form that new higher low to seek that higher high. So yeah, that's just my thought process behind that. I thought I'd give you guys a little short video on it. That trade actually did quite well. So let me go back to here. So my target was down here. And if you look at that with a 12-foot stop loss, let's put this back up. Apologies, do a new one. So we're looking at the open of that 45-minute candle there, stop loss just above, 12.3 pips, target down here. So that's a 1 to 14 risk to reward ratio right there. So that's good. That's very good. So if you risk losing 1% on this trade, so if the price did go the wrong way and you lose that 1%, you've only lost 1% of your account. But if you kept the whole trade in the whole way down to this last take profit, then you would have made 14% of your account. Now, considering what the banks offer you by 0.01% interest every year and how much they're heavily involved with this market, when you can learn a skill like this, it's completely different. Okay, but I didn't make the full 14% because I took some partial outs down here and I took a little, it didn't come all the way down to the position. I was going to see if it went any further, but it reacted nicely off this imbalance here. So I took the rest of it out about here. So yeah, that's just a nice trade there, 1 to 14 trade. That can, depending on what size count you got, if you've been trading a long time, that can be a lot of money, almost life-changing for a month. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions on this, just please leave a comment on the video, and see you next time.